Every morning when I get up, I'll tell you what I do. Light a simple cigarette and have a scotch or two. Those dirty movies are a thrill of mine. Don't you know I watch them all the time? Come 9 o'clock, my wrists are weak. Later on, I can hardly speak. I'm watching porno on my TV set. I'm watching porno on the internet. I'm watching porno. I like to work up a sweat. I'm watching porno.
Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. It's Thursday, time for the Thursday live stream. I don't know if we fooled anybody just
I don't
then.
know that I did. I started to laugh.
Did you? Okay. Well, I noticed I was
all of a sudden I needed to blink a lot.
Yeah, so everybody we probably didn't fool anybody. So yeah. So today is the day that we like to do question and answer and just kind of bring you guys up to speed with stuff that's been going on here in the shop, answer your questions about guitar building or what, the way that we do things. So, of course, we also do lots of YouTube videos, and I just posted one at 3 o'clock today. Chris, have you seen it?
I have not.
You were here.
Do you
while
know why?
Because
I was working super hard.
Hey, dude, YouTube is a thing that we have to do to
I'm not saying it's not.
Raise awareness. And if you would like to do the video editing and stuff, then
no, what I'm saying is I didn't have time to watch the video because I was here.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean.
It's not a indictment on you. But you were working hard too.
Do you think maybe I'm protesting too much?
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, of course, to my left, your right is Chris, and Mrs. Toast is even here today. So I am not sure what she is going to be doing, but she might just hang out for a little bit, drink some of our beer, and then go home and make sure that our dog is nice and cool. Because it's warm here today. It's not as hot as everywhere else in the world, but it's pretty warm. So, yeah.
Gary Redburn.
Hey, Gary.
Did anyone see the What Would Texas Toast Do YouTube?
There's been a couple of people who've done What Would Texas Toast Do YouTube videos. Dane did one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that was a while ago, though. I'm not sure if there's another one. I'm not sure. But it's been a while since we've done like a Have a Beer with Uncle Matt and Q&A and that kind of stuff. I think where I felt halfway decent. So guys, we would like to take your questions, and I've got some stuff that I want to talk about today too. Stuff that is brand new for today. You don't even know it, and Mrs. Toast definitely has no idea what this is. But if you have any questions, please put lots and lots of question marks in front of the question so it kind of stands out from the other. Hey, how's it going, Doug? Hey, how's it going, Dave? Hey, Rod, what's up? Hey, Joe. Hey, Tony. Hey, you know what I mean? That kind of, which I love that happens in the little thing. That's cool. You have been talking for a long time, Chris, about how neat that is because of the community, the people that watch the channel and hang out and come to classes and hang out with us.
Yeah.
I had an idea about something to kind of bring up or raise the awareness in the whole community part and make it easier for people to participate in that. And so what I did was I went to the post office today and I got a post office box because what I want to start doing is Texas Toast mail call, where you guys send us stuff, whatever kooky thing you guys want to send us, and we'll open it in a video form. I don't know if it'll be a live video. Why couldn't it be a live video, right?
It should be a live video.
Yeah. So we'll open it in a live video, and if it's beer, we'll drink it. If it's shirts, we'll show them off or put them on. If it's stickers, we'll put them on stuff here in the shop. So if you guys want to have like, you want to like have us help, promote your guitar place or your whatever, it's a cool way to do that. So today it's even here today. This is the day that I went and did it, was today. No, I sounded like purred happily just a second ago. I went to the post office today and I got the P.O. box, and it is 100% operational right now. And the post office box is Texas Toast Guitars, P.O. Box 1366, Westminster, Colorado, 80036. Now, in case you don't have a pen to write it down, all of that stuff is in the description below, and that's going to go in every single video description from now on. So you guys can send us stuff if you want to, and we'll talk about it. As a matter of fact, I got 2 things to talk about today. What do you think we'll get a lot of, Chris? What do you think, or like, what do you think people will send us?
Beer.
I think because, yeah, you're right. Because everyone's always whining and complaining because we don't drink the right beer. Yeah.
What else do I think they'll send us? Stickers. Maybe T-shirts. Maybe, I don't know.
I guess
all sorts of crazy stuff.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the Texas Toast Nation decides to send us. And we'll talk about it, open it up, and it'll be a fun thing. We'll only go to the P.O. box like 1 time a week or whatever. And we'll see. Maybe we'll only go once a month. I don't know. But I got some cool stuff in the this didn't go to the P.O. box because I didn't have the P.O. box until today. But I did get some cool stuff today. And one of them is this fret rocker that I got from Brad Miller. And he makes these. You know why this is cool, Chris? So he does a couple of different things. He's got some measurements on the little rocker here, but what really sets his fret rocker apart is it's round instead of, like stabby in the neck, pointy. So Brad sent us a couple of these fret rockers, and if you want to get one, you can catch up with Brad at his eBay store or Reverb. And I don't have the link in the description, but if you want this, you can check out Brad Miller, or maybe he's watching right now, and he'll put a link in the section right there, and you can get one of Brad's fret rockers. And I tested this, and it works just great. Now it's made out of lightweight aluminum, and it's got a hole so you can put on your keychain. No, I think it's so you can put on like a nail or something. And then it's got his like little
carry it in your pocket.
You could carry it around with you.
Rest of your keys.
In case you have a fret rocking emergency. And he's got his logo, which is like a sneaker on a rocker
on a wah pedal.
Wah pedal, yeah. So thank you to Brad who sent us these, because these are really super, super nice. You know who else uses these?
If you're not rocking, you're not rocking.
If you're not rocking, you're not rocking.
Who else uses?
You know who else uses Brad Miller's
no
deal? Philip McKnight.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So thank you to Brad. Very, very excellent. Okay. Another thing that came in the mail it's a T-shirt. Okay, now I'm not wearing it right now, but it came just today, and I didn't want to, this is kind of my Thursday T-shirt, my Zephyr. But I don't know who it's from. It says
the label got a little mangled.
The label
outside,
it says, Matt, had to be done. I'd love to win that GGBO class, but don't consider this a bribe. Just an indication of what a good time we'd have. And then it says, keep up the great work or something, but it doesn't say who it is. So I have no idea who sent this, but they sent me a shirt. And it's a shirt of me wearing a shirt of me. So I don't know.
Are you ready for the next shirt?
Yeah.
Of a shirt, a picture of you wearing a shirt of a shirt.
So I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, it's a picture of Chris and myself, and I'm wearing a shirt of me when cutoffs that Dylan sent me. And I don't think Dylan sent this, but I don't know who sent it.
Well,
no, there was
message got cut off on the receipt.
Yeah, the message got cut off.
There was talk of making that shirt, and somebody made that shirt.
Somebody made it. So thank you to
watching.
Yeah. So if you guys if you know who made that shirt for me, please let me know.
Richard Edwards, I sent that shirt.
Richard Edwards did. Okay. Thank you, Richard.
Cool. Awesome.
I don't know how to do the Great Guitar Build-Off prize giveaway, but I still want to do that. You know what I mean? That's an important. I said I was going to do it, and I'm a man of action, and I don't know how to do that. How do we do that? Because I don't think we've gotten zero information from how to donate prizes from the actual Great Guitar. Maybe we just need to just do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Cut them out.
Yeah, Mrs. Toast is right. Maybe just cut them out and just we'll figure out a way to do it. How about that? You have to have done the Great Guitar Build-Off, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who the winner of the 2020 Great Guitar Build-Off was?
Bunch of tools.
Laura.
Yeah.
That's the only one. She's the only winner of the 2020 Great Guitar Build-Off, according to Phil McKnight. Or not Phil McKnight, Ben Crow.
Oh, yep, that's right. Nobody else did anything.
Nope.
No, I like Laura. She's really cool.
Yeah, she was at Crimson taking a class, and Ben was interviewing her, and talking to her, and she was showing off her guitar that she still has because she wasn't
required to sell it.
Wasn't required to sell it or auction it off. And he was talking about how, of course, you won the 2020 build-off.
Yeah.
What a great, hoorah for you.
Huzzah.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I think that if you start waiting for Ben to sing our praises, that's a fool's errand.
I would have been shocked. I don't even know why I was watching that video. I think because it was a class video and I wanted to see what they were doing in class.
Yeah, I'm sure that whatever they do is super cool. And I also think that there's still a little bit of a sting on some people's whatever. But I don't mind being a little bit irreverent during the live streams. I don't want to be awkward about it. And sometimes I go too far, and I'm not going to do that anymore. We had a super chat that we missed. Let's go back and get that, shall we?
The first 3 questions, and then another one later were all like fret neck related.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Lucifer says, how thick do y'all make your fretboards before radiusing? Our fretboards are, thank you for that question, by the way, and thank you for the super chat too. Our fretboards are between 1/4 and 5/16 before radiusing. And I don't know. I tend to err on the side of thicker fretboards because I like them. And I like to do that little piece of fretboard under the binding. So the thicker it is, the easier it is to get that and get the radius and then have there be a spot for side dots.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Now you kind of, if you had your druthers, you'd rather go thinner than that, wouldn't you?
I usually, yeah, just a little bit. As soon as you start getting close to that 1/4 or at a 1/4, I'm like, okay, that's good. I definitely don't want to go any thinner than that.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with starting with 1/4.
Okay. Yeah, I think 1/4 is probably about perfect.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to know, how big is the box? I'm assuming he's talking about our PO box. It is, if you're planning on mailing yourself, I don't think they have the capability to do that.
I think they'll hold stuff too.
They absolutely will.
Yeah,
So
stuff that's too big.
The student,
yes.
center, and you got a little package.
So
the counter.
I got the second biggest one that they had, or the second small. I got not the smallest
middle
one,
size?
but the second. There's 4 or 5 sizes.
Oh, are there 4 or 5?
So I got the not the smallest, but one up from that.
Okay.
I don't know how you say that, but so it's pretty good size. So you can flood that with lots of different stuff. And if you decide to send us a box, they'll absolutely put that in the parcel thing. Yeah. The post office is very, very close to us. So yeah. I'm anxious to see.
Vintagey too.
It is vintagey.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do a video where we go to the PO box and like look, and there'll be nothing. Wah wah. Because I think we can go at like 1 a.m. or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be open.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of just changing the air for the first few days.
Yeah.
You can actually get something.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna mail us stuff there too.
You could mail us stuff there. So again, if you want to send something to the Texas Toast Nation mail call, I just made up Texas Toast Nation. That's not a very good thing. But link in address in the description below. And this will be a fun thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Okay. Paul Key, who has been trying to put a hex on my beloved pin router, is here. I don't know what he's up to, but if you're shaping a neck and someone's jinky pin router causes you to cut through your truss rod channel, can you fix it with Bondo? No. Bondo is absolutely the last thing you would want to use to do that. What you want to use, Paul, is Tondo. It's like Bondo, but it's made for tone. So anyway, all right, let's see.
There's a couple questions about the health of the pin router.
Let's talk about the pin router. Yeah.
Sure.
So Chris and I have spent the last several days. We had the pin router all the way torn apart.
Pretty much.
So it started with on Saturday or Sunday.
It was Saturday.
Last Saturday, Brandon was running the pin router and it stopped starting. And we diagnosed it to what was either the start capacitor or the motor. And I had a sneaking suspicion it was the start capacitor because there was no smoke, there was no sparks, there was no
funny smells.
No funny smells, yeah. And it was doing a funny sound, which was humming. And when a motor hums but doesn't start, that is usually an indicator that it is the start capacitor. Because in an electric motor, it's trying to start and it doesn't know which way to go. So the start capacitor gives it the extra kick in the ass to get
pull it
started.
around one direction. Yeah. Okay.
So I located a start capacitor, which was not super hard, but not super easy either. I had to have it shipped in, and we got that on Tuesday, put it together, and fired right up, just like downtown, good as new. And we thought, since the motor we got to looking at the belt, and we needed a new belt.
Well, and you fired it up, and it did some weird stuff with the belt. And it started.
I think that I remember I'd loosened one of them because I thought let's pull the.
Yeah, and the belt might not have been tight enough. We didn't even look at it, but all of a sudden it was time to replace the belt, which is something that we've talked about doing for
years,
forever. And every class that we teach, I go, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. And the reason is because this belt is really worn and we don't have another. So don't do this.
Yeah. So we got a new belt, which was another thing that we had to special order.
Yeah. But it was funny that you were able to special order one here in town.
We were able to both the start capacitor and the belt.
Yeah. And the capacitor was cheap and the belt was cheap too for a custom made belt. And they said, we'll give you a call in a couple days. And they called you the next day.
Very next day. Yeah.
Hey, your belt's ready.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, come get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Come get it.
Give us money.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So we got a new belt. And if you've ever been to a class here, you might remember that when you raise the pin router crank all the way up, it gets to a certain spot and then it goes ka-lunk and it kind of falls back on itself. So we wanted to fix that. So we took the whole shoot and match apart and fixed that. So it was like completely disassembling the tool, greasing a bunch of stuff, checking bearings, doing this, that, and the other, adjusting the height rig, replacing belts, replacing start capacitors. Oh, we had to put a new capacitor cover on too, because the original one was smaller, a little bit smaller than the new one.
Right.
So we got a new capacitor cover, a new used capacitor cover. and we were able to customize it with a Coors beer can, which was awesome.
Yeah,
you might
really
have seen it.
Really classed up the
classed up the
yeah,
joint. No two ways
pretty
about
sweet.
it. So the pin router is fully operational again, and I think it's better than ever. Actually,
I think so too. There was a lot of maintenance that we always kind of deferred on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we do a little bit here and a little bit there. Oh, the other thing we did was level the table, which I don't know that we've done in quite a while.
No. We still need to index the pin.
Yeah, square the pin. But yeah, it should be more awesomer than ever.
That's my hope.
And run for another 5 years.
Gosh, let's hope so.
Issue at all.
Somebody asked me, and I'm sorry, I forgot who it was. Asked if we. Oh, it was red tail guitar, red feather, red
clover.
No, that guy's guitar. Anyway, asked if we were replacing bearings on the. No, we did not replace bearings, because you would think that if you've got it all torn apart, go ahead and replace some of that stuff, but bearings are a whole nother kettle of fish on the pin router.
I think we'd have to pull the pieces out and take it someplace and have them pressed out. I don't know that we could do it. We don't have a press
capability, but
that big.
Yeah.
And so, we would have to do that. But I think the bearings are still okay.
I think they're fine. Yeah. Yep. And maybe one day it'd be a good idea to dig into them, because that, of all the things that can still go wrong, well, there's always failure is always an option, but bearings are something that can go wrong in both the spindle and the motor.
Mm-hmm.
And the motor could go bad, but really, I mean, like there's this cast iron. It's not.
And
airlines.
and rubber boots.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it, and we were cleaning out dust and all that, and goo and greasy sawdust and stuff like that. But really, none of that necessarily hurts it.
No, it's
it's not, and there's no dirt in the bearings. It's just.
And that tool was designed to run 10 hours a day, 5 days a week or more.
The owner's manual talks about, certain lubrication at once a week or every 40 hours, which means that they expected that tool to run
40 hours a week.
40 hours a week.
One shift of nothing but that tool running.
Or every 40 hours if you're running more than one shift.
And again, if you've ever been to a class here, you'll know that while we use the pin router a lot on the first day, it's certainly not 8 hours worth. So
no. And when you and I are here using it, if you go and you use the pin router for like an hour,
that's a long time.
That's a lot of pin routing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So the pin router is Chris's legs are tan. It's just glare on my knee.
Yeah.
Versus I mean that.
Everyone, why is it not okay to not be tan? We don't want Chris to get sun cancer. Okay.
Well, I'm sure I already have that.
Well, let's hope not. So anyway, let's see. So I am going to scroll. I know I'm missing a bunch of questions here. Alejandro says, "Hi guys, greetings from Mexico City. How can I get rid of fine circular scratches due to foam buffing pads? No matter what I do, I still get them." So foam buffing pads. So I'm guessing he's talking about finish.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get rid of swirls, Chris?
Well, I think he's talking about. Is he talking about swirls, or is he talking about? I've never gotten swirls from a foam buffing pad, but I have gotten swirls that I thought I got rid of from an orbital sander, wet sanding.
Well, I think he could be talking about those foam things that you put on a drill, and so you've never gotten swirls.
I've never gotten little pigtails, which is what I think thought he was talking about.
So he says circular scratches. So you're probably right. Maybe. But it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes swirls in lacquer is kind of just the way it is, right? I mean.
Yeah.
It's hard to get
more information.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alejandro, let us know a little more on that, if you would, please, sir. Richard wants to know, please retype the P.O. box. Again, it's in the description, so you can just go right over to the.
I'm going to look.
Yeah.
I was like, it's way
So,
there.
yeah, so it's in the description. You got to click show more.
Yeah, sorry. There it is. Texas Toast Guitars, P.O. Box 1366, Westminster, Colorado 80036.
There you go. And it's in the description there. You can type it in, and yeah. Tim wants to know, is it possible to use poplar as a fretboard material if bound and fabric topped? That's an intriguing one. I don't see why not. I don't see why not, provided you use the same sealer that we use or something harder than that.
What was the question? I missed it.
Okay, the question was, could you use poplar as a fretboard material if
you're fabric
you
topping
fabric topped it?
Yes. I'll say yes.
I think it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would just as soon use maple.
That's just it. I'm not sure what you would be gaining by doing
because
it.
poplars, it's not necessarily a softwood, but it's certainly softer than maple.
Mhm.
And I think it's softer even than rosewood.
I'm sure it is. But if you're putting an epoxy layer on top of it, then that's becomes a fretboard, right?
In some ways, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I'm not sure what you're gaining by using poplar as the fret. I could see where you'd want to use poplar for the neck, but we're talking about $1 extra for maple.
Yeah, because you can go to Home Depot and get maple that would work for that job. It just has to be maple.
Yeah. So while I don't see that there's going to be a big issue with doing that, I'm not 100% sure what you're gaining by doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Neil wants to know, is the pin router fixed? Yes. I think I'm just kind of catching up with old questions here. Paul Key says, I heard a luthier say that the aluminum ones don't work if you drop them. I'm not sure who said that, but actually I am. And that guy is I think it's still fully operational. So yeah. Let's see.
If you drop anything hard enough, it's gonna ding.
Yeah. I'm not sure what your floor is made of or how tall you are, that if you drop 65 aluminum.
If you throw that off the Empire State Building,
it might not work.
Ruin it.
Yeah, you're gonna wreck it. We were talking about that today, like how some guitar players kind of have these obscure things that they get upset about. Like if I take my thumb and dig it under my low E string and go like this and pop it, sometimes it buzzes. Well, why would you do that? What musical feature is that? I don't.
Sometimes it buzzes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Spike's Guitar Garage has a question. Are the templates the same as normal when used as a pin router? Okay, Spike, the templates can be the same if they go all the way through. You know what I mean? So like on this 1/4 inch, hold on, let's get one here. Yep. Hold on, I'm getting one.
So the classic telly.
So if you have a template like this, it would work the same for a pin router or a handheld router. It would work the same for a right-handed guitar or a left-handed guitar. And yeah. Now, the cool thing about pin routers is that you can do some other stuff that you can't necessarily do with a template like this, and that you don't have to go all the way through. You don't have to incise the cuts. One thing that you have to remember with the pin router is everything's upside down and backward. So if you're used to putting it on top and routing with a bearing bit, and you just gotta gotta figure it out.
If your wood is here,
yep,
and your template's here, you now have to do this.
Which, when you look at the board, if you're used to doing it one way, it looks absolutely weird. So yeah.
Yep. But it's the same template, unless you have templates that have offset collets. that are using collets
to
do
that's
certain
true.
things. But if everything is the right size, then yeah.
That's true. So if you have like Steve at Maximum Guitar has his collet is a 5/8 collet, and you can use whatever.
That way you can route a 1/4-inch channel. With
however deep you want, right, Paul?
Either the right amount of deep or far too deep. Your choice.
Have a good time.
That was mean.
No, it wasn't. What's wrong?
What I said was mean.
Okay.
Not what you said was mean.
Liam wants to know, if I only have a regular set of fret files and the thickest file is 4/7, can I still file thicker nut slots, for example, for a 5/2 string? Yeah, you absolutely can. You just kind of press a little bit on to one side or the other. Now, is it ideal? No. Can it be done? Yes.
Something else that I used to do was you can take the string, like say you have a 5/2 string that you're putting on, and it's too long. You take that last wrapped part and you run it back and forth.
Yeah, you can kind of scooch it around
in
like
there in the channel, and you'll feel it when it makes its own home.
But yeah, so
it's not ideal, but
so presumably your file will have teeth on the bottom and parts of the side. So, but you can kind of scooch it over to one side or the other and get very, very close. But yeah, I would say you should absolutely invest in lots and lots of nut files. But if you don't have one right this second, you can absolutely make one work. I've even found that a 4/7 doesn't always cut 4/7. It's usually more.
Yeah. And I've also heard of people taking popsicle sticks and gluing pieces of string to it and making their own makeshift files that way.
But we don't recommend that.
No, but I mean, if that's going to be slightly better than my method with like that.
I like to put my thumb on the string and whip it through.
That works too.
Yep.
No,
I don't do that. But yeah. So yeah, you absolutely can do that, and that will work very, very well. Okay. Hey, did you know you'll never guess who's here, Chris? Oh crap, I lost the thing. Somebody here, quick vamp somebody.
Hey, it's the Matt Show.
No, that's the Chris
We're
show.
watching the Matt Show.
Thank you for vamping in a weird way. There's some more super chats we have to take care of. Let's see. So here's one from Richard. Here's to Thursday suds and fun for Uncle Matt and Uncle Chris. You're an uncle, aren't you?
I am an uncle.
You're
cool. An uncle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zitherbeast wants to know, any decent answer from anybody is welcome. I have a slick single pickup guitar with trem, and the trem sucks. Guitar sounds and plays great for what it's worth. I'd love a fixed bridge. Any ideas?
It's got a trem now.
Yeah.
What kind of slick guitar is it? Is it a Strat trem? I don't know.
Yeah. So
These
I mean,
things we need to
of
know.
all the things that it could be,
you could just block the trem. If it's a Strat trem, you just screw the springs down and you're good to go. Hopefully.
Yep. Or you could actually block it with physically
with a piece of
block
wood
it
too. Yeah.
If you have a Kaler, you could you can fix a Kaler into a position. If you have a Bigsby, you just take it off and put a stop tail on there. Bada bing. So we need more.
We need to know what
this lacks perspective. We need to know more. Let's see. D Taylor guitars. For a one-piece Strat neck, can a double action truss rod be installed with the nut at the headstock side like a 50s guitar? Only kind I've seen this curved truss. Okay, wait. For a one-piece Strat neck, can a double action truss rod be installed with the nut at the headstock end like a 50s guitar? Only kind I have seen is a curved truss rod channel. Just curious. So a double acting truss rod channel does not need to be curved, for one thing. Okay. A rod with, or a truss rod with two rods where one rod is active and one is providing the tension for the active rod, you do not need a curved slot. But in order to put it at the headstock, you kind of need to have it come up and out.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And on a one-piece neck, you're making it even more tricky than so it's not impossible to do. It's tricky to do. The curved truss rod kind of lends itself to poking out through the headstock.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm getting confused by the 50s, like a 50s guitar, because those all had the nut.
In
if
the
we're talking
heel.
about the adjusting nut at the heel. But
Yeah.
maybe he's talking about the fixed nut the other way.
Well, but I know he wants to use a double acting rod.
Right.
You know, if it were me, I don't see what the advantage of a one-piece neck is.
I can see no advantage.
I can see how I can understand. Ooh, wouldn't it be cool to make it look like it was one piece of wood? Ernie Ball, for example, cuts the fretboards off and glues them back on, so they don't have to do skunk stripes and stuff.
Yeah,
it looks like a one-piece neck, but it's not.
A slightly thicker piece of wood to start with.
Yeah,
and cut a fingerboard out of the same exact piece of wood, and then make your neck, and then make your fingerboard, and it would look almost perfect.
We have touched on a handful of things that we do that kind of make our scooped out Fender style necks look a lot like our 7-degree angle headstocks. And I really like what we've come up with. And I think that you can come, but if you're trying to cop the flavor of a 50, our headstock does not do that. It does not look anything like it doesn't look anything like a Fender.
Right.
Truss rod slot. You know what I mean? It looks like a Fender neck, but yeah. Man, that's a tricky one. And adding the wrinkle of I want it to be a one-piece neck makes it 100 times more complicated.
Yeah.
You have to because you have to have this, you have to backfill it with a piece of wood. And it can only be as thick as it has to be, that piece of wood has to be as thick as the route for the truss rod.
Right.
So yeah, I would say don't bother.
He said he's got a lot of answers in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out to everybody.
Okay.
And he's like, I think I'm just gonna block it off.
The trim or the truss rod?
I'm thinking the trim.
Yeah, I think blocking.
Travis gave that advice, and that's what I'm going with.
Okay, yeah.
Slick guitar, single HB, Strat style.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to make a trim fix is to just block it, and that way, if you ever decide to go back to trim, you still can.
Yep.
Slacker Deluxe says, have you ever tried using a Prevail sprayer to apply sealer? They are cheap enough to be disposable.
I have never tried that, but I have used a Prevail sprayer, and I believe at least the product that we use as a sealer is too thick. It will not go through a Prevail.
Thank you, by the way, for the super chat, Slacker Deluxe. You know what else is cheap enough to just throw away is those Harbor Freight spray guns.
Yeah.
With like $5.
They're
and
9
really
or 15, depending on
those Prevail things. If you start spraying a whole lot, they're not all that cheap. 1 is cheap, 10 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
How do you know? Goslin Creative. Hey, how are you doing? How are you bending the maple around sharp curves like the cutaway on a Tele or Strat body? By the way, good idea for a follow-up to the maple binding video you released today. There are lots of tricks for maple body binding, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to tell you guys what those tricks are. What say ye, Chris?
That's a video for another day. Let's not.
Do we have some challengers coming up that we could theoretically do that? We could make a video about maple binding on challenger bodies. What do you think?
Sure.
All right.
We're not the first ones that have done it as I spit across the room.
No.
Yeah.
I'm also supposed to tell, Wix wants me to tell you guys that we have classes back in stock on the website now. So if you guys want to come out to take a class from Chris and myself, learn to build a guitar, Mrs. Toast looked at me and she's like thinking, what you just said singularly was if you'd like to take a class from myself, huh, baby? Yeah. If you want to take a class from us, the 2022 class schedule is mostly up on the website, and classes are selling very, very well, and especially the wind your own pickups and build a guitar with Dylan McCurchie from Dylan Talks Tone. How cool is that, Chris? He's going to be out here all of May, and the first one's already sold out. The first Dylan pickup winding class and so the pickup winding classes are Saturday and Sunday, and then immediately following them, there's a build a guitar, week-long build a guitar class.
Yeah.
So you get to wind pickups, and then you get to build the guitar that it goes in. So Happy Meal there. That's very cool.
Yeah, and by the end of a week, 7 days.
Yeah, you got something really cool.
Yeah, you got a guitar that you made that you wound the pickups on. That's a first.
You wound the pickups on. You used the beloved pin router. You sprayed paint. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in all of our classes that just doesn't happen anywhere else.
You almost burned your fingers soldering, but you didn't.
Yeah. So all those classes are available. Build a classic set neck. Build a classic bolt on. That's a new class for this year. Build a classic Fender, build a classic Telecaster. There's another new class this year, which is paint your guitar. So we have a couple of classes that are wood centric. What's that mean, Chris?
Wood centric means when you get here, you have a pile of wood.
Yeah.
And you start from scratch. You create some sort of drawing. There might be some template making. You might bring your own templates. You thickness the wood. You might have to glue it together. You might have to glue a top together.
You absolutely have to glue all that stuff together.
Yeah.
So there's nothing done when you get here.
But if you made a really, really thin
guitar,
I guess,
if you made a 7-inch,
if you made a LeBay 2x4 guitar, you wouldn't have to do it.
You wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah.
And you can also do maple top and binding and set the neck or bolt it on.
And it's everything that the build a Telecaster, build a classic Fender isn't, as far as there's some stuff that's pre-done for you in those classes.
So the truss rod's already installed, the fretboard's already slotted, but
mostly a neck. There's still a lot of work to do to it. It looks like a neck.
Yeah.
The neck that you get in the build a classic set neck class
looks like a board.
It's a board.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a tree.
So this bears some we need to deep dive into this a second.
Okay.
Build a classic Fender, you show up and the truss rod is installed and the fretboard is glued on and the fret slots are done.
Correct.
The reason that we do that is because we only have 5 days. And there's a bunch of other stuff that has to happen too. But you still have to radius the fretboard. You still have to press in frets, and you still have to profile the neck and shape the headstock and do all that stuff. So it's not like it's not a kit neck by any stretch of the imagination.
No, there's still plenty to do.
Yeah.
And the stuff that we teach you in the rest of the class, you could do. The neck, it's just there's only so much time. So
if you come to one of the wood centric classes, people are often like, well, I want to come back and paint. So like Rod H, for example, came back and painted his guitar, and it turned out awesome. And so we're doing the class that Rod came to, we're changing a little bit. What we're changing it to is, if you've built a guitar with us, then you need paint work done. You get to come out and do all the paint stuff. And while paint's drying, you get to make other things. You get to make another neck or another body or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
So
where you get to sit around.
And all the course material for that's included. So unlike the class that Rod came to, which was do whatever you want, nothing's provided, and who knows what's going to happen. We needed to rein that one in a little bit.
Yeah. So this is what we came up with.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty cool. So, all right. Okay, I'm looking for questions.
Is there a neck through class coming?
There is not a neck through class coming. We don't make a lot of neck throughs, and it's not because I don't like them. It's just because we don't do very many of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you further, and to that end, if you are coming here to build your first guitar and it's a neck through, that's the wrong move. If you're coming and you're building a Telecaster, cool. If you're coming and you're just doing woodwork enough to do like a flat top Les Paul or an SG or something like that, and you want to do binding and things, no sweat. We can do that in 5 days. To say, I want to, my very first guitar in the world to be a neck through, I don't think that's a great idea. If it's not your first guitar, then you don't need to come here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to teach you anything that you don't already know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's a lot of planning that goes into a neck through guitar. And, most guitars, when you're doing them, when you're building them, you have to think 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And a neck through, you have to rethink all of the original steps and think like 5 or 6 or 10 steps ahead, because it's because you want everything to be flat until it's not flat, until it no longer needs to be flat. And you want everything to be 90 degrees and parallel and perpendicular and all those kind of words. And the first thing you do with the neck through is throw away all of that and go off the reservation.
And usually a neck through also involves multiple laminations and stringers and things like that. And so, so as of right now, there are no plans to build a neck through guitar in 1 week.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm trying to get to everyone's questions here. Pip Tyson says, I got some flame maple veneer that's 0.025. Is there a point where it gets too thin and maybe too brittle to use as binding? I would say yes. To too brittle, no to too thin.
Well, as binding, 0.025.
Mm-hmm. So
so binding is 0.06.
Well, I mean, but if you're just bending it around, or if you're like laying up like a maple, walnut maple or something. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
But brittle so if you're doing an acoustic, no sweat. If you're doing anything with a cutaway, it's going to break. Unless you wet it and heat it and steam it. And yeah. So. Okay. Moving right along here. I don't want to miss any. Texas Toast bread box for P.O. box name.
Bread box.
The bread box. Okay, duh. That makes so much more sense now. Thank you, Spike. Liam wants to know, can you do a video on routing and installing a Floyd Rose whenever you're making a guitar with one? I don't see why not. Now we've done I've done videos about Floyds before, and they were met with lukewarm response, mostly because not everyone has a pin router, and I did it all on the pin router. When I make guitars, I use the pin router because I have that. So, I mean, yeah, I could do one without the pin router if you guys really, really wanted. You guys have to watch it though. You know what I mean? There needs to be 5,000 views on this thing before, and that'll never happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, maybe, but I think that like if I do a video on how to install a Floyd Rose not using the pin router, maybe more people will watch it. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe.
Okay.
But do you want to make that video?
Maybe I'll do that like on a weekend when you're not here. But I don't have a Floyd. I don't have a Floyd coming up that I want to use. That I want to completely use a different style tool than what I normally use.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, when you did do that video, you used a combination of the pin router as just an overhead router, which is just like a regular plunge router, only bigger. And then you flipped it over just because it's easier and used the same template to chop out the back.
I think too that maybe we've talked about this. Carrie Ann and I have talked about it. Loring and I talked about it, and you and I have talked about it too. The notion of going back and remaking some of those older videos from the old shop, you know, and maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then I won't be in those videos.
Ah, that's right. All right. So I have some. Okay. So somebody wanted to know if we could ask, and I didn't write it down. How do we keep paint or stain off of wood binding? I think it was Kevin.
About, I don't think I should really scrape it. You know.
Yeah.
Tape.
If you're using stain, you're doing it wrong. How does it go, Chris?
Stop staining wood.
Yeah.
Stop staining raw wood. It's
the
wrong way to go.
Yeah, if you want maple to be white, don't stain it.
Correct.
And you can't get close and scrape it back.
You can change the color of maple later, but don't put stain or dye on raw wood.
What's the 30-second version of how we do it?
So the 30-second version is we sand it, we seal it really well, and then if you want colors or opaque, stain looking stuff, you spray opaque, semi-transparent or transparent colors on what you want the colors to be, and then you put clear over the top of that.
That's the best way.
So you can mask off maple binding and then tint the rest of the neck if you want with a transparent paint, which is what it is. Because the problem with stain is it soaks in.
And it kind of moves out like an oil spill.
Right. Yeah. So it's like a paper towel. You put the paper towel down and it just. So once you seal it, then everything that you spray on top of that sits on top.
Yeah.
It doesn't soak in.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it.
And I think that all the people who say to use stain and making tops pop and stuff, I think are doing you a big disservice if you want to keep the maple as white as possible.
Yes.
I'm not saying that making the tops pop and doing stuff like that is a disservice. What I'm saying is if you want to keep the maple binding nice and crisp, that's the wrong thing to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Randy Crook says, love the channel. Looking forward to checking out your guitars when I make it to Colorado. Beer on me. Hoorah!
You can put a dent in your wall.
That's right, Randy. We can help you spend money on beer.
Let's talk about this some more.
Hang on one second. I want to talk about beer for just a little while.
Okay.
Mrs. Toast says that we're everyone's favorite bar.
Right.
On Thursdays and Sundays, maybe Fridays. I don't know.
Maybe.
Hey, speaking of Friday, do we have a reveal tomorrow?
We do. We have two.
A double reveal?
We have one for sure, and I don't think it's going to be a problem getting the second one done tomorrow.
I don't think so either. What's the Dick Vitale version of that? It's a slam, bam, jam, baby. Like that?
Yeah.
It's a double whammy, baby. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you know Dick Vitale?
I do, yeah.
What were you going to say?
I don't know what I was going to say.
Dick Vitale is hilarious.
Okay.
He seems really fun. Okay.
He wrote a children's book.
Did he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to talk about.
So Uriel Sage says, no stain on raw maple, but so many people do that to enhance the grain and get good color separation in the grain, like the Northern Lights finish PRS does. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're adding dark color to soak into the softer wood, and then they're sanding that back. But if what he was talking about is keeping white maple looking white, like on binding, and if you think you can dye or stain around raw maple binding, you're just going to end up wrecking it.
And I'm sure that Joe Nags knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Could you stain the body and then route out for the binding?
Yeah, you could,
Mhm.
but remember the Paul Reed Smith binding is not binding.
Correct.
It's a mask.
It's part of the top.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I've seen just enough videos of guys wrecking really nice pieces of wood, turning them basically brown to know
it's completely
stop dyeing maple.
I've seen Joe Nags or whoever works for Nags Guitars. I'm sure Paul Reed Smith is exactly the same way. They've got their what will become what looks like binding masked, and they do a dye bath. But there's no way in hell it's raw wood. It's something that they're putting dye on top of.
PRS masks and scrapes maple binding after staining. No, they don't.
No. I think that they do, but
also, yeah.
But I'm not sure it's raw wood.
Yeah.
Because that's the key, is that if you put stain or dye on raw maple, it will not react like the way it does on the Paul Reed Smith or the Joe Nags video. And there's going to be some, you hear that right now? I saw a video and Paul Reed, fine. You know what? You can
maintain a crisp line.
Do that then. Do that then.
Yeah.
Who says
do
that?
it your way. I'll do it my way.
Yeah.
You're real sage.
Okay. Yeah. Do that then.
Yeah. Do it your way. I'll do it my way. We'll compare later.
I think that we should have every video should close with, if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of ways to do stuff.
Yeah.
What you and I have come up with that works every time is not staining maple. If you put stain, now people are going to only listen to part of this. They're going to listen to the part they want to hear. If you put stain on raw maple that has nothing else on it, it's going to soak in and it's not going to be white. Okay? If you want maple to be white and you put stain on it, you're doing it wrong. Okay? Now, what people are going to hear is Matt says you can't do it. Well, no, I never said that. I said it's dumb to do to raw maple. And if you want maple to be white, it's dumb to do. There are better ways to do it. First of all, why are you making maple pop in the first place? You got sucky maple? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. And here's the other thing. You think that like the number 3 electric guitar builder in the world has some really super awesome finish technique? I bet he does.
Knows a couple of tricks.
Yeah,
isn't willing to give up a couple of his
has
tricks.
Been doing thousands of guitars every month and knows a few things about it. You cannot do it like Paul Reed Smith does. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, prove me wrong. I double dog dare you. Make a video, send it to me, and I'll eat a bug. What you can't do it.
Right.
You can't do it on raw maple the way that it looks like is happening at Paul Reed Smith. It can't be done.
Yep.
So anyway, all right.
So there's another super chat
from Paul Key.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect question to wrap things up.
All right. If your mentor and sensei disses you on karaoke night, can you get retribution of some sort? Well, I wasn't at karaoke night.
And I'm not his mentor.
Well, no, that's not. So, well, I cannot be his mentor because I wasn't there. So who was all there?
Steve and Rod and Paul and me.
Okay.
And then later on, Mrs. Toast and Angie.
Well, okay. Well,
I actually sang karaoke that
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
That was on a Thursday.
So can you get retribution? I'm going to say, no, you can't. You can't do it. It's impossible. You see, here's what other people are going to hear too. SS posted, I double dog dare you. Thank you, by the way, SS. The whole notion of like, everyone wants to like, ha, got you, Matt. Okay, great. What do you win? I did it. Cool. That's awesome. I don't do that. I don't stain raw maple and try to make it look like something that it's not ever going to be. We have a technique that works really, really excellently for us. The whole idea of, well, I'm going to do it and I'm going to, great. You should absolutely do it and prove me wrong. And then you're going to that and $5 will buy you coffee at Starbucks. I'm not sure if you already know, then then just do it. I mean, it would never occur to me to do it that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have figured out a way that works for us. Why on earth would we go and change that? We wouldn't. That's just it. And everybody does it. Well, it's not impossible. Paul Reed Smith does it. I bet you Paul Reed Smith has a couple of tricks up his sleeve in the paint department that you don't have. Please send me pictures of your guitars. I'd be happy to, to come on the next live stream and tell everybody I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Okay. So send me pictures of your guitars and I'll be more than happy to go. I was absolutely 100% wrong. So, okay, guys, it is time to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, everybody. It was cool hanging out and having some beers. Chris, are you all right? You might be a little worked up. Okay.
I don't understand why people like to come to our chat, our page, and then tell us how to do stuff.
Because they want to gotcha. I got you, Chris.
So,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they win by doing that.
I don't know either, but people sure like doing that. And it seems like it's getting to be more and more.
I think it's okay.
A lot of times. Yeah, for the most part. But yeah, I just don't understand that. And,
next time,
if you know how to do it, great.
If you know how to do it, write it on a $20 bill and hand it up.
Send it to us, and we'll take a look at it and let you know what we think.
That's a terrific idea. Link in the description below. Not a link. Address in the description below to the PO box. Send us your $20 bill with whatever you have that you want to write. You could write on there. You could write Chris is a butthole.
5s and 10s will be returned.
Yeah, no, they won't. You could write, Matt, eat a big bowl of buttholes on a $20 bill. Send it in, and I'll be happy to.
We'll read it.
I'll be happy to spend it. One other thing, I'm working on a brand new smuggler's telly route.
I know. I helped out.
This one is actually for smuggling too. That's not what you think. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching.
Weed.
No. Thanks for watching, you guys. It was great to hang out with you. It's a double whammy, baby. Tomorrow for the reveal, right?
Yep.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, have a great, if we don't see you then, have a great weekend. This is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, make your own damn videos.
Yeah.
Have a good time. All right, everybody. Take care.